How's it going, guys? It's your boy, Big Blue Drew 97 here to talk to you about My Hero Academia. Manga chapter 262. Wow, that was a flub. 262, titled The Number 5 Hero Mirko. And let me just say this straight up. This chapter has made Mirko literally like top two, number two favorite characters in My Hero. First is Momo, second is Mirko. Everyone else after that is literally irrelevant, especially after this chapter, because this chapter makes Mirko, in my heart, the number one hero. Endeavor, Hawks, the washing machine, all of them do not compare to Mirko. And it's fun that we talk about Mirko because, weirdly enough, we start the chapter off not with Mirko, but actually with Crust, who, as we know, is the number 6 hero. So, yay. But in actuality, we do get just the information about Crust's ability, and you would be surprised exactly what his Now, do you want to know what his ability is? Do you want to know? He has the ability to make shields. Oh my gosh! It's like we predicted it the entire time. But yeah, just to give it a little bit of better context, basically he has the ability to create shields from his arms, and while he's doing this, he's actually fighting off a Nomu. And in actuality, what we first see is the other heroes who are with him. They look at the Nomu, and it's like, oh my gosh, the Nomu's talking, and it's basically bad. And what I found hilarious about this is because not only is it just bad mouthing Crust, but it's it's gonna take more than basically your flimsy shields to defeat me. And Crest is just basically, it's well, I'm gonna try anyway. So yeah, Crust may die. I have no feelings for Crust, so it's fine if he dies. A little bit later on, we may get a little bit of information that Mirko might die in this chapter. But that's for later. And to be a little bit more specific on Crust's power, no, I am not looking it up as we speak now. Yeah, it's shield. He can manifest shields across his entire body. And it's funny because his shields look just like Crust. It looks like just plates just all over his body. So yeah, like I said, he can make shields. But the second interesting thing that we learned immediately after that is we get the confirmation of exactly what Nomus are. We kind of guess with what they are. They're just these creatures with multiple quirks inside of them, and and we also get how you have just high tier Nomu, and then you have low tier, mid tier, high tier. We get specific setups for the Nomu, and specifically to go with it, the Nomus are just corpses that are modified to have multiple quirks. I think that is a piece of confirmation, and kind of explains a few things about what has happened throughout the series. Specifically how it explains Night Eyes and Presence Mike's friend, how he still resides as Kurogiri, because it confirms that he was dead and he's still dead. It also confirms that every other Nomu that we have seen, it's been a dead body with multiple quirks. So the first Nomu is a dead body. The Nomu with the multiple arms and the chainsaws, the flying Nomu, they're all dead corpses, which kind of explains why Endeavor was able to just fully kill these Nomus, because technically they were already dead. So so yeah, you can straight up go ham on these Nomu. That's also why it was okay for Endeavor to kill that other high-end Nomu who had the regenerations. And we also get a difference between even tiers between the high-end Nomus. You have the low end of the high tier, then you have the higher tier where the Nomus that have more than 10 quirks. Well, no, no, no. We get a confirmation that the Nomus are 10 times stronger than normal humans, and that you have the high ends who have like the greater specs, like the higher caliber quirks, the abilities. So like you have like a low tier of the high end Nomus, then you have the high tier of the high end Normals, and like the higher the tier, the more they're able to retain their original personalities. And we also get confirmation of like what these corpses are. That they're, for a lot of them, the only exception may be Akurogiri, which was the Sun Wukong looking mother lover, who was like President Mike's and Eraserhead's friends. Most of these are just villains. So yeah, you know that makes sense. Like you use the dead bodies of a villain, so like just in case like you get a hero's body, it's like I don't want to kill, even though I have all these powers. It's like they're villains. They would obviously kill. So yeah, we get a little bit more explanation from the Doctor as well, talking about like how he like was able to like artificially put these quirks into the people, and how it takes them 3 months to stabilize, and how it's harder to mass produce, and like the 5 little ones that are right there, they're just basically babies, and they had to leave them behind. They're fighting for him, basically to buy time for him. And if you caught that 3 months thing, yes. So Shigaraki is definitely turning into a Nomu. Like it was very obvious that like they're putting more quirks into him, but this basically confirms that Shigaraki is turning into a Nomu. And we get the Doctor who, and I think this is a funny part because he talks about, yeah, the Doctor's like, yeah, I can't escape right now because literally like our my 2 like ways of escaping are dead. And you just see like these 2 little Nomus like just flying in the air, like they're going to heaven with like their like feet, hands pressed, like one of them's pressed like this. So it's just hilarious. We also get like the confirmation that Shigaraki is 70% stabilized, and that the Nomu that are fighting Mirko are basically like buying time for this stabilization. So what this could possibly tell is probably something I'll address later on with my final thoughts. But getting a little bit later after that, we also get the panel of Shigaraki like being transformed into a Nomu. But then after that, we see Mirko using her bunny ears, which, gosh, those bunny ears are so big. Like they're like huge. Like those ears put Dumbo's ears to shame of how big they are. But we get the reveal of what Mirko's quirk is, and like by using her big ears, she's like, "Oh wow, so you didn't escape, Doctor? Oh, you're shaking in your boots. Ah, it's time for me to go wild." And like the gnome were like killing her, and then we get like the explanation. Number 5 hero, Mirko. Quirk, rabbit. Explanation: she can do anything a rabbit can and more. So yeah, also the Nomu was like, "Oh, by the way, how did she survive me throwing her up against the wall?" And she explained like she offset the impact with her feet, because as we know, rabbits are very fast. They love to hop. Also, Mirko can just crush literally anything with those thighs. She's very muscular, so that probably also helps with like the rabbit thing. So like it also explains like how she's able to hear well, because she has big ears, meaning that she can hear better. So rabbit things. But once we get the introduction of her quirk, which was obviously rabbit, like once you see a hero or really anyone in the world that shows like animal characteristics, you automatically know what their quirk is. Like with Suyu, it was frog. Why? Because she's a frog. And like even if the name didn't give it away, like that's just how they work. And she just calls like the Doctor, "You old bastard," as like a Nomu comes in with like this tentacle like hard structure, like just going after her. And like for the next few panels, it's just like a straight up fight scene where we just see Mirko go up against these Nomus. Like one of them tries to trap him, the other Nomu just come in to try to kill her. And I'll just say that we get a lot of Mirko's moves in here, and I enjoy them because a lot of them are actually like revolving around her legs, because that makes sense because she's a rabbit. But it also makes sense for her like moves because a lot of them involve her feet, but they all start with like lunar. So the first attack that we see her do is called Lunar Ring, where she basically just uses both her legs and just go around like this big circle, just destroying these Nomus. and then calling out. They're saying that hurts, and she's like, "You jerk!" As like the one of them is attacking from afar while she's attacking the other two Nomu, and she just blitz upon like the little tentacle, like hard tentacle things, breaks those apart, and then like says, "Out of my way!" But while she's doing that, because this big like monster thing like just grows like just spiky bones protruding from its body. Almost weirdly enough, it's like the armored titan, or really any titan from Attack on Titan when they transform. It looks like that. And while Mirko's going for a kick, we see a dude who's apparently like, I'm not 100% sure on what it is. It could be like a dark hole quirk, or it could be similar to Kurogiri's quirk, where it's like up, like it's like transporting her arm somewhere else. And like something that we learned is like when it comes to like what heroes and villains can do, a lot of the times the heroes are holding back because a lot of their powers can be extremely destructive and deadly. For example, we have number 13, who's like the dark hole, who can kill people because it's a dark hole. And even Ochako's quirk, where gravity, we saw with Toga how if he like lets a person like hang in the air and just release it, they fall to the ground like with full force and can die. So this is like the extent of like putting like a similar power that we've seen earlier in the series and seeing how deadly it could be. And he's using it on her arm, and he's like clenching it like it's being crushed. So it may be like a dark hole or gravity thing. But like as soon as his hand like fully like crushes is like the moment where Mirko uses another one of her moves called Lunar Fall, where she just takes her leg and like slams it down on the Nomu's head. But while she's doing that, she's moving her, if I remember, her left arm, rips it off basically, and you just see this trail of blood, kicks the Nomu in the head, and sends it flying. And then immediately after that, she continues to spin, using the momentum of her kick to go after the Nomu who crushed her arm. And like he's like, "Oh, you're not afraid of rush again." And Mirko, with her thighs of the gods, comes in, calls out the Nomu, who's like, "Oh yeah, you're obviously weak because like you use long range attacks. If you're long range, that means you're not great close up." So as she says that, he's like, he yells "die," and he's about to like shoot laser beams out of his eyes, which, wait, laser beams, Cyclops. Oh no, that's Dark Theory. If you read Vigilantes, there's a character in Vigilantes who's Cyclops who can shoot laser beams out of his eyes. I really hope this isn't his quirk, because that means that in Vigilantes he's dead now, most likely, but he's about to basically shoot laser eyes at Mirko, and again, Mirko calls out the fact where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna die? Yeah, right." As she begins to spin around his head with her thighs just clenched around his neck, she says, "They all say die right when they're about to go for the kill." And like that makes sense. It's like the same like way where you're like, a hero's about to do a super move, they call it out, and the chances of villains are like, "I'm gonna kill you now." As soon as like they finish saying that, you go in for that attack. Which she does is she uses another move called Lunar Taijira, which I believe is like a form of martial arts. But all you need to know is that she uses her thighs and her legs to rip the Nomu's head off and crushes it completely. And during this time, her arm is bleeding, so she realizes, "Oh, yeah, I can't ignore that." So she just wraps her hair around her arm, ties it to like stop the bleeding. And she's like, and then she makes another comment, which is a little bit of new information that we're realizing that we knew like ahead of time, but it wasn't really confirmed. It's that if you crush their head of the Nomus, then like you're basically like they won't be able to like fight back anymore. And also the fact that by the way, this is way easier than like when we're dealing with normal villains. So yeah, y'all are actually pretty much screwed because I don't have the fear of killing you anymore because you're already dead, which makes sense because since they're already corpses, the heroes don't have to hold back, meaning that they have the capability of ending them immediately. And we also get a little bit of character development from Mirko, where she gives like her like ideas of a hero, like how she's able to live as a hero, which is that she lives with the reminder that she can die at any day, And by doing that, she has no regrets when she dies. That's why she's so blunt. That's why she's the person that she is through this mentality. It's like, being a hero, I could die at any moment. So I always remember that. So when I do die, I have no regrets. She's basically like, I know this path can lead to my death. So if I just don't forget that, then when I do die, I have no regrets. And I think that is the moment where I realized that Mirko is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite hero currently, because of this mentality that she understands that she is a hero and that heroes could potentially die, but because she already knows that she can still become a hero, be a hero, knowing and not basically being afraid of death in a way, which is one of the pinnacles of being a hero. And she also calls out the fact that, oh yeah, and because of this idea, I'm not going to be killed by some mindless zombies. So at this moment, also, we just get a image of her stumpy arm and just how muscular she is. She has big boobs too, which is great, because they're very prominent too. Like, I just like and really love Mirko now after this chapter. But cutting to the last few panels of the chapter, we see, oh wow, this is a new one. We see Skeptic, and Skeptic comes to realization immediately. It's like, oh, Bubagawara, basically twice screwed us up. It's like, yeah, to sum up, basically what he's saying is, we're fucked. Boom. But to be specifically, he says that we're screwed, this is bad, and he goes to the explanation of like, yeah, he should have kept a closer eye on Hawks as well as Twice, because he realizes, yo, Twice talked to Hawks, and somehow Hawks told the heroes about this, because it makes sense. He's a hero. We never really trusted him, and this is the reason why. And then he calls out the heroes incoming as we see little cracks in the background, possibly meaning that the heroes are coming to invade. So that's the end of the chapter. Yeah, wow, this was a lot of information was dropped in this chapter. A lot of like, not necessarily new information, but information that confirms like ideals that have been in the community. Probably the idea that Nomus aren't really living creatures. What we thought the quirks of Crust and Mirko were. Even that Shigaraki is basically becoming a new Nomu. Just like ideas that we had in the community that was never fully confirmed until this chapter. That's a lot that I enjoyed. And even just like information about how the Nomus are structured, and the fact that they are dead corpses, but like the more perks you add to them, the potentially that they're able to add, like have their old personality, which it kind of explains like how Mike, present Mike and Night Eye were able to get into Kurogiri's mind, because he still kind of retains the personality of the person who was dead, who so happens to be a hero, which kind of explains why you would prefer villains over heroes, because they won't have that type of connection and won't be able to connect to the original personality, even though they are technically dead, which is something else that we gauge that the Nomus are physically dead. And we also get more like build up into Shigaraki's fully development. An idea that I'm going to go with, that I want to talk about towards the end, is about Shigaraki and how he's at 70% and going to 71%, and what that could potentially lead to, because that's something I think is going to be addressed at the end of the arc. I think what's going to happen is, it's going to be a win-lose situation for both the heroes and the villains, where the heroes are going to stop like a majority of the paranormal liberation front. I think all of the head leaders are going to get away. The doctor may not be able to get away, but I think that they're going to like have some Nomus. They may have like a secondary base somewhere, but I do think like a lot of liberation members are going to be captured. But due to that capture, they're going to get captured. Some of them, the higher ups, are still going to be able to get free, and I think Shigaraki is going to reach 100%. Because it just makes the most sense through the dichotomy of Shigaraki and Deku Midoriya, how Midoriya is having multiple quirks and learning how to master them. Now we're giving Shigaraki multiple quirks so that he can master them. So it's going to be a similar comparison between All for One versus One for All in that situation. So it's going to be a loss for the villains because they're going to lose a lot of their forces, but they're still going to retain a lot of their stronger forces, and vice versa. For the hero side, they're going to stop a majority of the Liberation Army, but as I said at the beginning of this arc, is that if we don't stop all of them, then it's going to be a loss for them, and I think that's what's going to occur, as well as they're going to be like lost. Like, we're going to lose like a lot of heroes, and like I said, Mirko, we see that she's lost an arm. Like, she is permanently lost his arm. Like, if I can say anything about My Hero, if something bad happens to you, it's permanent. Endeavor has a scar. All Might cannot, like, retain his, like, body form. He has the hole. He's potentially dying. Todoroki has a scar in his face. Endeavor also has a scar in his face. Eraser is what I meant to say. Eraserhead. Like, how, oh gosh, I think I made that mistake so many times in this video. Eraserhead, and how, like, he has, like, the scars on his eyes as well. Just, like, scars are permanent in My Heroes, and they have meaning. And I think with Mirko, her scar, which is the fact, especially with Deku, like, how many scars he has on his arm, and the fact that he still has that band because, like, his flesh and his skin hasn't, like, fully healed because of, like, how much damage he has done to his body. Like, scars, and like, even with, like, also with Eri, just scars are permanent, and also, like, parts of the body, like, are permanent. Just even when it comes to, like, the villains, just how not twice, but how Mr. Compress, he lost an arm and now he has to deal with a robotic arm. Even with the Shikai overhaul, he lost both of his arms, and those are permanent. Like, Mirko has permanently lost her arm, which is fine because, like, she's, like, uses her legs because rabbit, go figure. But, like, there's going to be loss, like, not like permanent losses for the hero side. Like, certain characters that we've seen may die. Now, they may be, like, lower end on the spectrum. Like, we may see Manuel may die. Like, chances are, someone on the top 10 hero list is gonna die. But, like, a lot of the smaller characters may die. Like, one of the Pussycats may die. Like, it may not be, like, extremely emotional for us as the readers, but it will have an effect, a permanent effect on the story. Like, the heroes that at least we know of, they will no longer exist because they will be dead. And I think that's something that I am really looking forward to. It's like, who is going to survive? I think all of the children are going to survive because that just makes the most sense story-wise, because it's My Hero Academia, and I do not think that the students will die now, but I do think that maybe the traitor will be revealed and they may be caught. And if any of the students die, it'll probably be the traitor, probably sacrificing his life for his classmates or her classmates. Just like, I betrayed you, but, like, I still trust y'all and still think of y'all as friends, so I'll risk my life. Sorry for everything I did, and he dies. That's a possibility, or maybe the traitor doesn't get revealed. There's so many things that can occur because of just this war arc that's going on right now, and I'm looking forward to all of them, and hopefully you're looking forward to them as well as looking forward to my reviews. Overall, very good chapter. A lot of information was provided, a lot of confirmation, and just a lot more build-up on what's going to be happening in the next few chapters. So hopefully you enjoyed this review, because I really did enjoy reviewing it as well as reading the chapter. Hopefully you can keep watching me until the next few chapters, and hopefully I'll be able to see you next time in my next video. Like, comment, subscribe, and with that out the way, I'll catch you guys next time.